Once upon a time, in the far, far north, where the snow sparkles like a million tiny stars, I, Santa Claus, had a very unusual adventure. You see, this happened on a very special night, the night before Christmas, when all the children around the world were tucked snugly in their beds, dreaming of morning surprises. But that night, something very odd happened at the North Pole. My alarm clock, the one that never fails, decided it needed a holiday too, and it didn't ring. So there I was, snoring away in my big, cozy bed, with my red hat over my eyes, completely unaware that the sun was rising. Mrs. Claus was the first to notice. She dashed into the room, her hair all in a tizzy, and said, "Santa, you've overslept. It's Christmas morning." I jumped out of bed so fast, I knocked over my cup of hot cocoa from the night before. "Oh, jingle bells," I exclaimed. Rushing to get dressed, I put on one boot, then another, and realized they were both left boots. Meanwhile, the reindeer were still napping, and the elves were having a snowball fight in the workshop. "Oh, ho, ho, what a pickle," I laughed, trying to wake up Dasher and Dancer, who were dreaming of sugar plums. Rudolph's nose wasn't even glowing. It seemed he'd stayed up too late reading reindeer comics. Finally, with everyone awake, we hurried to the sleigh, only to find it buried under a mountain of snow. The elves grabbed shovels, and even the reindeer helped, using their antlers like giant brooms. It was a funny sight, seeing everyone working together, slipping and sliding in the snow. We managed to free the sleigh, but then realized the presents were still in the workshop. So back we went, slipping and sliding, filling the sleigh with toys and gifts, making sure not to forget anyone. By the time we were ready to go, it was already daylight, and children were starting to wake up. "We'll have to be extra quick," I said, and with a flick of the reins we were off. We zoomed across the sky, so fast that we left a trail of sparkling stardust. At each house, I slid down the chimney with a whoosh, leaving presents and munching on cookies left out for me. In one house, I accidentally put a toy train under the cat, who looked quite puzzled. In another, I hung stockings on a sleeping dog's ears. The journey was full of laughter and little mishaps, but it was also the most fun I'd ever had on Christmas. As the sun rose higher, we finally delivered the last gift, just in time. Exhausted but happy, we returned to the North Pole, where Mrs. Claus had prepared a feast of pancakes and hot cocoa. We all sat around the table, elves, reindeer, and me, sharing stories of the night's adventure. And as I looked around at all the smiling faces, I realized something very important. Even when things don't go as planned, as long as we have each other, everything will turn out just fine. So remember, my dear children, no matter what happens, always keep laughing and loving, for that's the true magic of Christmas. And with that, I wish you all a very Merry Christmas and a night full of sweet dreams. Ho, ho, ho. Good night.